What is going on, Samuel? Can you hear me okay? Am I coming through all right? Doing this one a little different. All right, all right. Well, if I'm coming through, we'll see. We'll see how quickly it takes. How long does it usually take for people to start rolling into yours? Out of curiosity, you tend to have a much higher viewer count than I do. All of this stuff is new to me. Old dog learning new tricks, literally and figuratively. Okay. All right, all right. Well, today is very much just kind of a hangout day for me. This is a hangout stream. I had already done one stream with all of my talking points. I have talking points for this one. I don't know if I really want to go through it. I've already gone through my diatribe once, and it didn't feel like the I don't know, most peak message I've had yet. So we'll see how things go. We'll see how people start rolling in on the chat, what people start coming in with, and we'll see if I end up going through these, or if it's again just more of a hangout day. Let's see. It takes a few vertical streams to gain hundreds of views. 30 views, boom. Do I have 30? Really? I have, what I'm seeing is, yeah, well, actually, what I'm seeing is nothing. So, who knows? Oh, now I'm seeing a larger number. So, yeah. All right. What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Because I have more viewers than I normally have, I can say without question, most of you have absolutely no idea who I am. So, let me introduce myself to you. I am Scott. I'm a Balisong flipper. I am not very good at Balisong flipping. I have only been doing this for about 6 months as of this last Wednesday. This was the first Balisong that I ended up purchasing. This is a Nibali's Teflon Vulp. But since I started into this hobby 6 months ago, I have learned that, number one, I like collecting things. I like collecting Balisongs specifically. What's going on, Shticky? I like I like the Balisong hobby. So I now have, I think my collection is up to 11 from the one that I had started with. Again, not very good, but my big thing is less about quality flipping, more about quality conversation. So as I joined the Balisong community, I learned that the Balisong community is very much about the people, very much about the individuals, which is really, really cool. It's about the Balisongs too, but the community and the way that everybody seems to interact with each other is just really cool. All right. What is going on, everyone? What is going on? Is everybody enjoying their weekend? Everybody having a good weekend? What are you guys up to? We listening to music? We out on the town? We sitting at home flipping Balisongs? We planning out our next YouTube video of our own? Are we editing what we just finished so that we can get it out to the masses in the morning? What are we up to today? All right, practicing behind the 8 ball. All right. That is without question my favorite thing to do is the behind the eight ball right now. That and the palm fan, but behind the eight ball to helix is my preferred thing to do. Thank you, thank you. Let's see, is that Arrow Astro says cool guy. Thank you, I appreciate that. Um, you're a cool guy too, or lady, whichever. Well, for me, I bought a $50 card table and a rope to use as a sled for this giant snowstorm. That'll be fun. Be careful, and best of luck to you. I am not going outside in this weather. I am hanging inside, flipping Balisongs, and I've really been loving streaming as of late. So this weekend is very much a stream heavy weekend for me. IDK, what's going on? Oh, why more views? Maybe it's because I'm vertical, and Samuel was likely right that a vertical stream would bring in more people. My almost 4-year-old started flipping his with his plastic carrot balisong. That is awesome. I have 5 grandchildren. I am in fact that old, and I've actually started 3D printing balisongs for my grandchildren. The youngest of which is between 1 and 2. And I have been asked to create a scaled down, toddler hand friendly balisong. How old are you? I'm in my 40s, so I am a young grandpa, but I am in fact a grandpa. Let's take a look here. Be polite, IDK. There is nothing wrong with asking somebody how old they are, as far as I'm concerned. That is totally fine. But yeah, I'm in my early 40s, I would say. Let's see. Oh, let's get to flipping something so you guys have something to watch. Anybody do anything fun today? We are just hanging out, enjoying our Saturday evening. Well, no, I don't think you were being mean at all. And I am young to be a grandfather, so that is true. All right. Coached my soccer team. Wait, I don't. Okay, I don't being mean. I thought you were just younger, which is totally fair. You coached your son's soccer team. That is awesome. Was it a traveling team or was it a school team? Let's see. I'm gonna play around here. All right. All right, I'm dropping a poll in the chat. IDK, you out of here? Peace out. Have a good weekend. Poll in the chat for any Balisong flippers out there. LDY has been talking of late with regards to a couple things. Which are you all most excited about of those things that they are talking? Let's see, what do we got so far? Looks like we are 50-50. 50-50. All right. We'll leave that out there. We'll see what people come back with. What is everybody doing in the chat? What plans do we have this weekend? What plans do we have this evening? Flip more. Oh, yeah, I should do that. All right, I'm going to flip the cheese. One thing that I've been working on, let's see if I can't smoothly get it in, but one thing that I've been working on is this roll over to a reverse chaplain. I can do it consistently. It's pretty smooth. I can do it pretty smoothly, but I need to smooth it out. What about you guys? What are you working on? This is not a kite. This is a kite. Kite AL, not the whatever the original one was. I like it. Right now, I don't like it as much because I have these 3D printed PLA scales on it versus the black G10 scales right here. These are heavier, which makes this now lighter. And I don't like light balisongs, but for me, the weight balance on this particular Bali was the exact same as the weight balance on my Orion S. So for me, it didn't make sense to have essentially two Balis that felt and flipped the same way. So I decided I'd turn this into something that I hate and learn how to flip with it not matching my preferred weight balance. So to answer your question, Tech Flipper, yes, it is a kite. I love it very much, but I miss the black G10 scales that were originally on it because that made it feel better in the hand. It's nice to have variation and balance. I agree. That's why, okay, let's see. We got more people chiming in on that poll. Oh my goodness. So far, the Orion V2 is winning over the Kite AL 1.5 on what are people most looking forward to coming out of LDY. That's interesting. What do you use to store your balisongs? So I have these 3D printed stands. I'll grab one. These 3D printed stands, and I just have them on my desk, and I can hold 5 of them at once. I have 2 of these that are lined up next to each other, and that holds almost all of my balisongs. And then after that, my last balisong, because I have 11, the last one that doesn't quite fit, I put in this currently flipping stand that I have in the middle of my desk. That is where I keep mine. You're most definitely grabbing an Orion V2 when it drops. All right. So I am not. Everybody keeps asking me that because I love my Orion S. Everybody keeps asking me if I'm going to be trying the Orion V2 when it comes out. And I honestly, unless somebody comes back and says that it is going to dethrone the Kraken, it isn't something that I'm interested in because I don't see it being, for me, I don't see it being better than the the Orion S. But the Kite AL 1.5, I'm really excited about that because I love everything about the Kite AL, and everything that they're doing with the 1.5 are all improvements that I think are going to match my flipping preferences. So they're adding the weight distribution, or the weight adjustment system. They're adding a speed channel. They're adding 2 more speed channels underneath the scales. Oops. They're just doing a lot, and it's pretty exciting. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I missed something. So you guys continue to hang out in the chat. Wait, did they say they're making a Kite AL 1.5, and where can I find it? Yeah, they actually, LDY dropped a post on Instagram that shows a computer rendered model of theoretically what the Kite AL 1.5 is going to look like, and I'm pretty excited about it. I really, really am. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But LDY is always improving their designs. True. I really respect LDY and what they have, what they're cranking out. It's really awesome. I am gonna do something, and while I do, if you guys can just bear with me for a moment and keep things going in the chat, I'll come back to it here in a moment, and when I do, I will get caught back up with you all. I just want to do something real fast. All right. There we go. All right, what do we got going on in the chat? And most definitely going to be grabbing an Orion V2 when it drops. Awesome, you printed the stands yourself? Yes, I did. I printed the ones that hold 5 stands. I printed those, and then this one, the currently flipping one, I actually designed that, modeled it, and printed it. So that one I'm actually really excited about because that was an instance where I came up with an idea, and then that idea turned into a physical thing that I could hold on to, which was pretty sweet. All right, let's see. IDK says, wait, did they say they're making a Kite AL 1.5, and where can I find it? Yep, so check out Instagram, unless I'm totally botching things and misremembering what I saw, but I'm fairly confident there was a picture because I saw the speed channels and was beyond ecstatic. Tech Flipper says, I haven't even looked at that yet, to be honest, but LDY is always improving on their designs. Agreed. Camaro EE says, apparently the Orion V2 is out and you can buy it. I didn't realize. I didn't know that so it is out right now. It's beyond just being announced. Let's see, LDY. My goodness, what colorways do they have for the V2? The only thing they have in stock is the B stock, and they only have that one colorway, which looks to be purple on green. I think that's the only colorway. I don't see any other options. I mean, it's sick looking, but yeah, like I said, everybody's asked me, where am I at with the V2 Orion V2? And my opinion is the Kite AL 1.5 is where it's at for me. All right, IDK says, what's up, Ethan? Ethan, I am so glad that you were able to make it here. Today has been a day of streaming, and this evening's streaming has been nothing but interesting, we'll say. But we're here. We've made it. We have you in the chat. I am beyond ecstatic, but I will pretend as though you're just some normal guy. Let's see. That's so cool, said Shticky. IDK said hi. Yeah, just checked Instagram. You're right. Cool. I'm glad that I didn't just make a fool out of myself. Khmer EE says it was on their website when I checked this morning. Cool. IDK says it's a proto run, I think. What is the AL 1.5? Grim Flips, what's going on? Man, we have everybody in the chat now. Happy to be here. Again, we are happy for you to be here. You are such a supporter of the community. It is amazing that that you hop in here. Oh man, the polls starting to get a little aggressive. We are back to 50-50 between the Orion V2 and the Kite AL 1.5 on what people are most excited about. We are split right down the middle. All right, let's get back to flipping. All right. Oh, Grim, with you being here, I have something to show you that I am very excited about. You were in a Discord call for a bit, so I missed the first bit. That's fine. This is actually just a I am talking stream. I have talking points, which I've already gone through 1.5 times in a previous version of this stream. So if we start getting bored, then we can go through that. I think it's a little dull. It's not as exciting as this morning's stream talking points. But I don't think we're even going to need to go there because the chat seems to be lighting up, which I appreciate. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love streaming. I love doing this because when I do my long form videos, I sound very robotic because I'm reading and I can't read naturally. But doing the live streams, very, very talky, very natural. So that's why I like doing this. The other reason is because when you all are interactive in the chat, I just thrive on the dialogue, the dynamic, the back and forth. So keep it going in the chat. I will respond to everything that I see here. We will talk shop. It'll be great. So let's see. Shticky says, "Hey Camaro EE, big fan." Of course she is. He is. Of course Shticky is. Everybody is a big fan of Camaro EE. Let's see. IDK says the V2. IDK, I'm not feeling it, but I respect your choice. Grimflip says, was in the Discord call for a bit, so I missed the first bit. LOL, no issues. Grimflips, big up. Grimflip says, oops, sorry I missed that. What's up? We'll get there. We might get there. Like I said, it's kind of a bland topic, so we might skip over it. Waiting for a restock. Oh, you're waiting for the restock for the Crescent. Okay, Ethan, which Crescent are you getting? Are you getting the black and purple? Are you going for the white aesthetic? What is your preference? Everybody else too. Here, I'll toss in. We'll go crazy with the polls because normally I don't do it this way. So this is different. All right, you guys let me know in the poll, what are you guys wanting by way of the Crescent, if you care. Let's see, waiting for a restock, same, can't wait though. Oh, okay, it's late February, so that's a while. The restock for the Crescent is going back to February. That is painful. You would get the white one, maybe dye it eventually. Let's talk about dyeing G10 here in a moment once I get caught up on chat. Okay, I'm about to get there, Grim. As soon as I get caught up on chat, we'll go there. So IDK says white. So yeah, but in the polls, In the chat, all of you guys are talking about your love of the white crescent, but in the polls, we have the black and purple winning by 67%. So there is a disconnect somewhere, people. Okay, so Grim says, sorry, Scott, my YouTube is bugging. What is it that you wanted to show me? All right, this is what I wanted to show you, Grim. What do you think I'm doing with that tomorrow? What do you think I'm doing with that tomorrow? It was a typo. IDK says it was a typo. What was the typo? I missed it. Yes, yes, yes. I'm very, very excited. Very excited. So, Grim Flips and I have been chatting about dyeing G10. And what I am going to be doing, what I just showed off to everybody, was this RIT Dymore synthetic dye for super pink. And what I am going to be doing tomorrow, probably, is dyeing the G10 scales on my refault. So I will have a silver and super pink refault by this time tomorrow, hopefully. Grim says, definitely keep me updated on that and let me know how it goes. I will. I may actually record a little bit while I am doing it. I don't know about that. My brain says, actually, no, I might not do that. But I'm definitely going to take a crap ton of pictures and post it. IDK, are you the one who had told me that that G10 is naturally jade and when we were talking about dyeing? I think that was you. IDK is an OG follower, and I appreciate that. Grim Flip says, I was talking with my father earlier about anodizing my silver liners for my refault, so probably like purple or something. That would be awesome. Yeah, so IDK, between you and Grim Flips, the both of you have really got me excited about the idea of dyeing some G10. So because of the two of you, that's why I have this, and that's what we'll be trying tomorrow. Super excited about it. All right. So, yeah, just like with the Orion and Kite AL, we are split 50-50 on the Crescent colorway between white and black and purple. All right. We'll end that one. What is everybody flipping tonight? Do we have flippers? Do we have talkers? You looked at Jade. Wait, have you looked at Jade G10 dyed? No. Does it come out differently? Dyeing Jade G10. Yep, so dyeing jade, which is natural G10, is an effective popular modification that uses RIT Dymore to change the translucent whitish green material to nearly any color. The process involves simmering the scales in a mixture of hot water and dye, typically for 15 to 30 minutes. Normally I see people doing it for like a minute, but I guess it all depends on if you're going for a solid color or if you're going to be going for a fade. Me, myself, well, some people know, some people don't. You guys tell me, what would you do it? What would you do if this was yours to dye? How would you do it? Would you do a single color, and what color would you do? Or would you do a fade, and what fade would you do? Okay, so Grim Flip says, I'm probably going to pick up some dye soon. Want to do a pink to blue fade. That would look sick. Absolutely. Flipping my impulse right now. Awesome. How, no pressure, but I got to ask, how are things going with editing up the next video drop? Let's see. Dumpy Truck, what is going on? Welcome to the chat. Dang it, I just got bit. Oh, man. You show up and you just got bit. What are you flipping? What bit you? Oh, no, I don't know. Yeah, you tell me what bit you. IDK says, look at pics. I'm a sucker for fades. The pics that I saw though just looked like normal dyed scales. Does dyeing it on top of the green do something different? The storm's got you messed up with recording. That sucks. That's a bummer. That is a bummer, but you'll get there. Things will clear up. You'll get your recording done, and we will get to see this amazing final product that supposedly is better than the first refall video. All right. Oh, I keep stop flipping. I don't know how to say that correctly. The way I always say it is I keep stop flipping, but that doesn't sound right. I keep stopping my flipping. My flipping continues to cease. I don't know. How would you say that? In my experience, it comes out kind of translucent. If that's the case, and I have super pink, and super pink, like a heavy pink, that's kind of translucent, that's going to be sick. That's going to be really cool. I'm very excited about that. So yes, I am so excited to get it done. Awesome. Everybody who knows that it's coming is excited to see it. So can't wait. Let's see. Do we still have Ethan out there? Out of curiosity, gotta ask. If so, he is not a talkative guy this evening, which is totally fine. One of the things I've been yes sir. All right, Ethan, what are you flipping tonight? Gotta ask. Okay. Here is a question. It's not a poll, so playing chess, nice. Very curious. I've asked a bunch of people on the Flippy Boys Discord. I've asked the Balisong Discord, I think. I've asked Will Hirsch's Discord. I'm asking you, and I might have asked you guys in chat. So if so, I apologize for the duplicate question. But if you all could only flip one Balisong for the rest of your days, but it not be a Balisong that is currently in your collection. So you could have flipped it before, or maybe not. You could have owned it before, or maybe not. But you don't own it right now. What flipper would you choose as your single flipper for the rest of your days? Very curious. Not only which flipper would you choose, but why? You gotta give me something to work off of. All right, let's see. So Ethan is playing chess, perfectly timed appearance. Grim flips, you are correct. I haven't flipped a Balisong since I started my break. Really? So when you take your break, you're taking a break. That is wild. I cannot, man, me going that long without flipping a Balisong is probably akin to Tech Flipper. Was it you that do we still have Tech Flipper in the chat? I was talking to somebody and they had noted, and they are more of a flipper than me because I haven't been doing this very long. I am not impressive in any way, shape, or form, but I love myself a good behind the eight ball, and they were telling me that they don't do behind the eight balls. So the idea of going that long without flipping is akin to me flipping without doing it behind the eight ball, and that's a bonkers thought for me. Let's see. So Grim says Sarah. Camaro EE says, I wanted a full refresh in the new year. That is, that makes sense. Good call. Okay. Grim Flips agrees. Fair, honestly. IDK says, a knot with the DLC coat and orange scales. Ooh. So I have been told that the knot is awesome. I'm a big sucker for the DLC on the Nautilus, and orange scales on the DLC would look sick. So IDK, you have a good head on your shoulders. Props to you, my friend. Um, let's see what else. I mean, Grim, why the serif? What's your what's your story there? Is it just, everybody talking so much about, is the hype for the serif so real that that's what's got you on it? Let's see. DLC is it's a coding. I don't, what does it stand for? It's like a black coating. It's kind of like a thinner Cerakote, if I had to guess. But basically, it's a coating that once it's on, it's not going anywhere. DLC coating. So according to the internet, DLC stands for diamond like carbon. So it is a amorphous carbon-based material that combines extreme hardness, low friction, and high corrosion resistance to make an ideally enhanced and durable whatever it is. In this case, Balisong. That is what DLC is. All right, what do we got going on in chat? But it has to have a good tune. That makes sense. It would suck to not. Dumpy Truck says, I want to pick up an Opus V2. Solid selection. Grimflip says, the serif is your dream knife, LOL. It sounds awesome, and you've heard wonderful things about it. That makes sense. All right. Okay, you guys have, some of you, maybe not all of you, some of you guys have been tuning in. Some of you guys have been watching my videos. Some of you guys have been listening to my live streams. What do you guys think? And I may have already said it, but maybe not. What do you guys think my answer is? Grimflips, you can't. You already know, I think, if you remember. Ooh. What would you guys say if you had to guess? What would be my single Balisong of choice? Let's see. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. IDK says, I've heard just as bad things as good things about the serif. All right. I've only heard good things, but I probably like Anami. The funny thing is, I said that the other day. I said that my Balisong of choice that I don't currently own would be the Nami because of the numerous things that I've heard about it. Everybody praises it. I guess not everybody. High tier flippers don't like the serif. Oh, got it. No, the other day I was on the Nami. That's where it would be for me. But then I thought about it a little bit more, and if I could only pick one Balisong for the rest of my days, it would have to be at the Acid Works Zyzix. Simply because the thing is a piece of art. It sounds amazing, and so long as it flips, I can figure it out. So that's what I would pick. Just simply because it ticks all those boxes for me. Let's see. Good thing I'm not a high tier flipper, LOL. But yeah, understandable. Same, Grim Flips. If being a high tier flipper makes you not like something, I am glad that I am not having to deal with that struggle. Let's see. All right. So the chat is kind of nothing against you guys, but the chat is a little slow. So I will actually do a couple of my talking points. But by all means, if it gets boring, jump in, let me know, and start talking, and we'll do that instead. But what I was talking about earlier today, it was comparing yourself to other people. And how that kind of no, I'm not. That's a stupid topic. I already covered it. Didn't really cover a whole lot. Really, it's just the best person for you to compare and compete with is yourself. That's long story short. Oh yeah, public flipping too. Wait, mine because of public flipping. Whoa, I've lost track of chat. Good thing I'm not high tier flipper, but yeah, understandable. Real, oh yeah, you did tell me that. Mine is cause of public flipping. Your what is because of public flipping? I missed something. Public flipping is so important to me. Oh, your selection you picked the Nami because you flip in public. Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry. Public flipping is so important to me. Nah, honestly, I think that's a good topic. You do? Okay. We can cover it. My one Bally. Okay, let me. Your one Bally. Mine is cause of public flipping. Okay, got it. Got it. No, not a Nami, a not. Oh, not. Okay. Got it. Fair. All right. If this bombs, blame Grim. It's Grim's fault. So what we're going to talk about is comparison being basically the trick that we drop, or the trick that drops. Um, when you compare your flipping to somebody else's, basically instead of asking yourself, "Am I enjoying this? Is this fun?" What you're asking yourself is, "Am I as good as this other person?" And that kind of just that steals the fun out of what it is that you're doing. The moment you start comparing anything about it, your ballet to somebody else's, your landing a trick to somebody else's, your collection to somebody else's, as soon as you start comparing, uh, it's the trick isn't about the trick anymore. The ballet isn't about the ballet anymore. It's what you're doing. You're comparing your behind the scenes stuff, your default flip, your run of the mill, not writing hope about it, not writing home about it, just your general flipping. You're comparing that to somebody else's curated, you know, couldn't do it any better content, and that's really not a fair. That's not a fair matchup. But we do it. We do it all the time. We see, Jack Pyro land something or one of his videos drop, and we're like, oh my gosh, why? I've been doing this, X amount of months, years, however, why can't I do that? And at that point, it's you have now made Jack Pyro a someone that you're competing against, and Jack doesn't even know you exist. Much less know that you are now, competing. Okay, let's pause that. Let's go to the chat because people have in fact been dropping stuff in there. Let's see. Grimflip says, because I myself am heavily guilty of comparing my flipping to others, it's a bad habit. Okay, so that's why you want me to talk through this topic? Cool. No, that's totally fine. I appreciate it. IDK says, Camaro EE, can you clear up what a FBR role is? And the question, did I get a new rep? Are you referring to the green or the orange on my the orange scales on my rep? I swapped out the buffness scales for these orange ones just because the screws were too long for the white scales. So it's not a new rep, same rep, just different scales. All right, so let's get back here and, oh yeah, I need to get a rep sometime. I agree, Grim, you should get a rep. Everybody should have a rep in their collection, just simply because it's such a, again, I've been doing this for 6 months and I'm talking like I'm an expert, but this is such a classic from my perspective. I think everybody should own a rep, but at bare minimum, everybody should feel what it feels like to flip a rep, because it is not your run of the mill flipper as far as I'm concerned. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, I need to get a rep. I think we were talking about that last night. What, the rep? Yeah. Okay, so where did I leave off? The moment you compare The trick isn't about the trick anymore. Yeah, and when I jotted that down, that kind of hit home if you really think about it, because when you see somebody land something really cool, and instead of looking at it and saying, oh man, I wish I could do that, or I'm not as good as them. Instead, if you look at that and you get excited and you're like, oh my gosh, I can learn that. That's what's really cool about the Balisong hobby and our community, because you don't have to make a competitor with somebody who's landed something that you want to learn how to do. Instead of thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm gonna land that trick better than Ethan did. Instead, you can just appreciate the fact that Ethan just landed something awesome, and in our community, being is so open, so accessible, and so welcoming. Instead of like thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I hate that Ethan landed that better than me, I gotta get better than him, drill, 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 drill. I can just open up Instagram and DM Ethan and say, dude, that was really sick how you landed that. I'm working on doing the same thing. Can you give me some tips? I mean, that's in our community, that's an option that we have. So that would be my recommendation. Anybody who's struggling with comparing yourself, comparing your abilities and where you're at in the hobby to somebody else, it makes a whole lot more sense for you to instead of doing the compare, do a little outreach. Just reach out to them. Let them know that you see what they're doing. Everybody likes to have a witness. Everybody likes to know I exist and what I am doing out here is being seen by someone. What I'm doing is not a waste. So if you see somebody do something cool, don't hold a grudge. Don't get a chip on your shoulder. Reach out to them. Let them know, that was freaking cool. Can you help me do the same thing? You might get a friend out of it. It's really, it's a super easy thing to do. And in this community, it's so welcome. It's so welcome. Let me get caught up on the chat. Let's see. Absolutely. Grimflip says, we all have our own style, so there's no point comparing yourself to someone else. Exactly. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Heatwave Flips, what is up, my friend? I am so glad that you are here. Camaro EE says, well said. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate your approval. And Grim Flips, I think that little carrot thing means you agree with what Camaro EE is saying. If that is the case, cool. Jack William Kerfman. Hey, dude. Hey, what's going on, Jack? What is going on? All right, so Grim confirms that, yeah, that's what that carrot means. Sweet. All right, I'm caught up on the chat. We'll go back to talking through comparing. Okay, Heatwave says, Ethan, did you see Ghost Flipping is doing car content? Oh, I did see that. What is his channel called? Ghost Drifting, I think is what it was. Yeah, so, well, and no, let's not get there. Chat, you guys do you. I'll get back to my talking points. You guys haven't told me to stop yet, so I think we're good. But yeah, when you compare you to somebody else, if I'm comparing my flipping and what I'm able to do to Ethan's, for example, and I'm just going to beat up on Ethan because he's the most popular person in the room. If I were to compare my flipping to his, it doesn't make any sense. Well, I guess Ethan is a horrible person to use as an example because Ethan, the way that you do a lot of your content, you do the head-mounted content. We watch you drop your false live blade onto your foot and then promptly do it again. So instead, how about I compare myself to Grim Flips, because we all, hopefully, have seen Grim's refault video. No, not the refault video, the impulse video. And needless to say, it was peak flipping, it was peak editing, it was an absolute masterpiece. So if I take my flipping and I compare what I do to what Grim is doing in Grim's video, that's not a fair matchup at all. When I think about my flipping, I'm thinking about that drop that I just did on my foot. I'm thinking about, you know, the hole in the wall from when I was trying to do an aerial and I let go in the wrong direction. You know, I'm thinking about just my generalized stuff. But if I'm comparing my flipping to Grimm's in Grimm's impulse video, what I'm doing is I'm comparing my baseline mid flipping to Grimm's highly curated top shelf flipping that probably took a lot of takes to get. That's not a fair matchup in any way, shape, or form. The fair matchup is when you compare you to you, but you do it over time. So you look at, you know, what was I doing yesterday? What was I doing last week? What was I doing last month? You look at those clips that you had, and then you look at what you're doing today, and you say, okay, am I improving? That's where that comparison really shines and where you're going to get the most out of it. If you don't do that, and instead you're just comparing what you're doing today to what somebody just dropped on YouTube or Instagram, totally not fair. So let's get caught up on the chat. So Jack William Kerfman, said, "Hey dude, what are we doing, Jack? You still around? Are you flipping today? Are you here to just drop in and say hi?" Grimflip says, "Yeah." Heatwave says, "Ethan, did you see?" Oh yeah, we covered that one. Grimflips gave a heart. Camaro EE said, "Saw the channel he made. I haven't seen any updates or uploads yet." No, he has a Miata. I had a buddy that had a Miata. Those things are super fun to drive. I actually have a friend that has a Miata too. So I've had two friends with Miatas. Miatas are very, very interesting cars. I've been addicted to my Hydra. Yeah, so everybody, Heatwave got the all black Hydra the other day. Had been waiting forever. And Heatwave, you got both the Hydra and you got the Impulse too, right? Didn't you? You got both? Correct me if I'm wrong. You answer in the chat. But we'll jump back over to what I was chatting about. So yeah, most people, that's the thing. Other than me, you guys know, anybody who's tuned in, I post my drops. I like the idea that I have a clip out there that other people like watching me throwing a Balisong up into my face. I like having that content out there because when I joined the community, when I first started Balisong flipping, I didn't see any of that. All I saw was the curated stuff, the masterfully done combos at lightning speed, and it was very, very daunting to look at. So that's part of the reason why, you know, I decided I was going to start posting my stuff as a 6-month flipper who doesn't know what he's doing, so that people have somebody to go and see, you know, just messing around. It's I don't know, it's a good baseline to have out there for if somebody does need to compare. You know, I want to have some crappy stuff out there for somebody to compare to so they can feel good about themselves. But yeah, most people, I am abnormal. Anybody who knows me will confirm that I am abnormal. Most people aren't like me. Most people just post their clean flips at the best angles on their good flipping days. Most people don't necessarily record on their bad days. You know, I like flipping on my bad days because it frustrates me, but it makes me ask myself what part of my flipping is causing the problem, and it makes me kind of take a step back and reassess. It's the same reason why if you guys watched my stream from, what was it? Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday's stream. If you guys watch that, you'll see that I screwed up the weight of all of my Balisongs. My refault, I love all the weights in them. I took all the weights out. My rep had no extra weights in the handles. I filled it up. Temporarily though, it hated me too much. I had taken the pivot screws out of the bottom of the handles of the Mako to throw off the weight there. Simply because I wanted to flip something that was different. Um, I wanted to play around. That's what I do. I like the drops. I like those off days. I like hitting that frustration. Um, the thing is, when you're trying to compare yourself to somebody else, though, you that it actually kicks you in the tail, and it makes things get screwed up because when you're comparing, you're turning it into a competition, and you tend to rush through things. You forget the fundamentals, and you're rushing through whatever it is that you're trying to land, so that you can get it before somebody else, or so that you can be the first one to post it. Whatever the case may be. But the thing is, when you're rushing your tricks, when you're skipping those fundamentals, when you pushed yourself past what you're comfortable doing, all you're doing is you're hurting yourself. Rushing is how tricks get sloppy, and how your confidence ends up getting hurt. So we'll leave you guys on that nugget and go back to the chat. Chat is not popping. But we do have people, and that must mean you guys are just listening to me talk, and that hopefully means that it's not too boring. Grimflip says sick. God, I love the impulse. Heatwave says it's blue, and yeah, you got the impulse too. Cool. So you got the impulse and the Hydra. That is awesome. The impulse was great at first, but it just doesn't. But you just don't pick it up anymore because the Hydra is just the better flipper for you. Is that right? Sticky says not boring at all. Great, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I'll get back to my talking points. You guys keep it going in the chat. I'll come back to you guys wait. No, okay, didn't miss anything. I'll come back to the chat here in a minute to get caught back up. Yeah, just listening to you talk. Cool, I appreciate it. So let's see. Comparison turns inspiration into pressure. Think about that for a minute. So there is a healthy version of seeing what others are doing. You can learn from them. I said it before. In this Balisong community, one of the greatest things is the fact that everybody is approachable. You can send an email to a knife maker and ask a question, and they're going to respond because everybody's approachable. So if you're seeing somebody do something and you want to learn what you can just reach out to them. You say, hey, I see what you're doing. I think it's really cool. You can see what somebody else is doing and borrow some ideas from them. Or you can see what somebody else is doing and you can find encouragement in that. Maybe that they have been struggling. Like anybody who watches my stuff knows that the trick that I'm currently working on is the Z rollover to ice pick. So knowing that, you guys might watch one of my videos in a month and see that I have a Z choker to ice pick tossed into a combo, and I land it perfectly without any fanfare because it's just my normal flipping. And anybody who knows that I had that struggle, they would have the potential of seeing that Z choker to ice pick and being encouraged by that because you can see somebody else do something good and be sincerely happy for them. It doesn't, being happy about the success of something does not require you to have been the successful person. You can be just as happy with somebody else's success. Which is why I love watching the new flippers and the new content creators and their stuff because it's so great to see new content that puts a different spin on things. Yeah, I don't know. That was a ramble. Let's get back to the chat. Not boring at all. Yeah, just listening to you talk. Pretty much I have so many knives. Okay, got it. Cool. So Chad is quiet. Chad is just listening to me talk. Okay, cool. I mean, you got here. Let's. I've been pulling it up, so let's find out how boring is Scott. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6. Off the chart. And 1 equals super boring. So that means if you guys pick off the chart, that means I am exceptionally engaging and as unboring as possible. So let's see what everybody says. All right, let's see. Yeah, just listening to you talk. Pretty much have many knives. Listening to you preach. No, not preaching. Just talking. Just sharing my thoughts. Sharing my thoughts. I know that you're laughing about that. I'm not taking that personally. Cool. All right, let's see. So where did I leave off? The healthy version of seeing others, not seeing somebody else as a competing person to challenge yourself against, but instead as someone to learn from, as someone to borrow ideas from, as someone to feel encouraged by. But the unhealthy side of that is sometimes you can see what somebody else is doing and feel like you are getting left behind because they're progressing faster than you. Or you may feel like, hey, had I gotten into the hobby sooner, I would have, this stuff would be behind me, and you kind of beat yourself up over it, or feeling like you don't belong in the first place. That's something, honestly. Okay, here's a hot take. Here is a hot take that I did not think that I was going to bring up. It's not the dog one, but so you guys, I mean, I've been very open about my social awkwardness, anxiety, panic attacks during chat. I've covered all that stuff. What was my hot take? Give me a second. The pause is making the hot take even hotter. But I have a horrible memory. Here's the hot take. Earlier today, I was bored. I was so bored, but I wasn't ready to stream yet. So I've commented on it a number of times. I'm an old man that does not know a lot of like the social media stuff. So I'm just learning Instagram just now, and don't really know Discord very much. I know Discord enough to put links to my stuff, but I don't know like the whole voice chat stuff. I don't know. And I was super bored, wanted something to do, and I saw that on the Flippy Boys server there were people on a live chat, Tony and a couple other people, and I toyed around with the idea of hopping onto that and just listening, seeing what people were talking about, maybe participate. And I didn't, because I was absolutely terrified of dropping into a Discord chat. And there's no reason behind it. I was terrified of being around other people who could hear me and who could talk back and all of those things. So yeah, there's my hot take. As far as from a anxiety and all of that stuff. I have the palpitations right before I hit go live every single time, but I can get past it. Joining one of those Discord chats though, that's a different story, and I don't know why. Camaro EE said, oh no, we're jumping some stuff. Okay. Sticky says, got my Teflon Vulp yesterday and haven't dropped it. Nice. I have dropped mine. There are some chips, but there's already a chip where the handle hits. Yep. So that is something that I will say, between the cheese and the Vulp. Uh, while I prefer the Vulp over the cheese, hot take number two. Um, what I can say is that despite the fact that I dropped my cheese doesn't have any, uh, what do you call it, chips. Whereas my Teflon Vulp very much does. Not, I mean, it's not embarrassing, but yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if the way that they ended up doing the coating on the cheese is just a more durable, or maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so I know the coating is thin at impact points and can chip, but it feels early. Has yours developed chips like that, or did yours stay pristine for a white? Mine did not stay pristine. Mine is not pristine. I have chips all over mine. So, nope. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If the Balisong is flippable, it is a good Balisong, and you can't be flipping it wrong. So, despite the fact that you have some chips in yours, it is perfectly fine. You're all good. Camaro EE says that's normal. Impact points will chip. Yep, agreed. Heatwave says my Teflon Vulp does that as well. It likes to chip. Yep. Same. Do you guys have any chipping? I mean, do you guys have the cheese? Number one. Number two, have you experienced something? Because it sounds like everybody's experiencing the same thing with the Teflon Vulp. What about the cheese? Are you guys feeling like the cheese is or is not chipping at the same rate as the Teflon Vulp? Curious. For me, it doesn't. For me, it seems like it's a more solid application. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Sticky says, "Oh, okay, thanks." Camaro EE says, "I can't believe my Discord is still called that." LMAO. Yeah, the Flippy Boys, the Flippy Boys. Oh, it was chaotic. I'm not gonna lie. Teflon Vulp, better than the cheese. I think I always forget greater than and less than. Mine chips more only because it's my beater. Okay, got it. Let's go to this chat, see what everybody says as far as how boring is Scott. 1 equals super boring. We got 5 votes. 7 people and 7 people, 8 people in the chat. So we can end it, and we'll let a couple of people keep their opinions to themselves. Let's see. All right, so we have caught up with the chat. Let's go back to my talking points. Satch, yo, what's going on? What is going on? Yeah, Goat, I am not, but I appreciate it. Glad you're here. FYI, I, in a number of my streams, have plugged your stuff, and you keep coming up, Satch, when Tech Flipper and I and others are talking about tech flipping. Given the fact that you have been doing a lot of tech flipping tutorials as of late. So FYI, everybody, if you guys like tech flipping, Satch is also into tech flipping and has some tutorials out there. So go and sub. But then again, go and sub to everybody else who's in the chat. Just support the community. Super easy. Let's see. I watch the replays sometimes. You are the goat, bro. I appreciate it. I don't think that I'm a goat. I don't think I am a goat, and I don't think I am the goat, because my flipping is not the best. But I do appreciate it. I think that I keep everybody entertained enough with my charisma alone that my flipping can suck, and that's okay. Best grandpa of all time, humble goat. Man, oh, real Balisong channel, you are here too? There was something that you had put out. Now I'm going to have to look at it. I'm going to have to find it. There's something that you had done either, don't know if it was Instagram, don't know if it was YouTube. I'll find it later. There was something you did, and I saw it, and was like, okay, either I have to learn that now. Um, it was a tutorial, maybe there was something, and it was peak. So just FYI, you are you are awesome. So man, we got a pretty banger chat going on right now. We got Sticky, we got Heatwave, we got Grim Flips, we got Ethan from Blade Bias, we got Heatwave, we got Satch, we got Dumpy Truck, we got Balisong or the Real Balisong channel. We have so many people, and if I've missed anybody, I apologize. We have IDK, yeah. Let's see. Who I think that just about covers everybody. Yeah, if I missed you, I apologize. Let's keep it going in the chat. Humble Goat, appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll get back to my talking points. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Yeah, so when you compare your flipping to somebody else's, and you get down on yourself, starting to feel like you're being left behind, and getting too late into the craft, you feel like you don't belong. That's kind of that's what led me to that hot take of being absolutely terrified to drop into that voice chat. Completely due to that feeling of not belonging, which is really, really weird, because I've said it a number of times. This community has been so overwhelmingly accepting of me, which is great. But despite that, and knowing that, it still totally stresses me out to drop into a Discord server's voice chat again, knowing that I might hear somebody say, "Oh, something bad." I don't know. Anyway, I belabored that point. So inspiration should lift you up. That's the thing. Inspiration. You should watch other people's flipping, totally. But you should watch other people's flipping for some sort of inspiration, for some sort of benefit. And what you should get something out of that. If you watch somebody else's flipping but you get nothing out of it, you're kind of just wasting time. So inspiration should lift you up. It shouldn't weigh you down. You shouldn't look at somebody else's flipping and come out of that feeling bad about yourself. You should look at somebody else's flipping and be encouraged to do whatever the next thing is. The thing is, everybody is different. It's kind of like, think about a person as a knife. We'll say the Benchmade Necron. You hand that to most flippers, and they're going to tell you that it's, I think, a piece of garbage, based on the feedback that the internet has. Whereas you hand that very same knife to someone who has perfected their ability to flip said Necron, and it's a completely different experience. It's because these are two different people. So that's one of the reasons why it doesn't benefit you or anybody to do that act of comparing you to somebody else. Your flipping is not going to work the same way as somebody else's flipping. Grim and I, going back to the Grim example, Grim's hands are a different size than mine. So Grim's ability to do the helix may be completely different than my ability to do the helix. I actually have to do something silly with my finger to do the helix to make sure that it works the way that it does. And I don't see anybody else do that. Everybody is different. Everybody is going to flip different. Timing is key to landing anything. And the stress of life. Anybody who flips knows that on a stressful day, you're going to flip worse than having a good day. You're always going to flip better when you're in a good mood. And that may be the difference when you're comparing you to somebody else. You may be having a rough day and they may be having a great day. That may be the only difference with regards to why you were able to do it and they weren't, or vice versa. Let's see. We got a couple things going on in the chat. Let's hop in there real quick. Couple things, not much. We are fire. Sticky, you are correct. You guys are fire. Everybody keeps calling me GOAT, which is, again, super weird because all I'm doing is rambling on to you all, and you all are being very, very patient listening, and I appreciate that. But it's you guys that make this dynamic really happen. When you guys aren't in the chat, it's really rough. Let's see. Heatwave says 07. I've seen that a couple times. I have no idea what that means. Hot take, the refault is mid. Hot take, Heatwave. I disagree with you vehemently. I absolutely love the refault, especially for some reason I took all the weights out of the refault and it sounds even more glassy than it did before. Not sure if that's because now it has a total of 8 little tiny holes at the end of the handles. And that just adds that much more room for the acoustics to do whatever they do. I don't know, but I love the refault. Even though it's got really, really, really thick handles, I love the refault. And just today, I got Rit Dymore in super pink. So I am going to be turning my jade green refault into a super pink refault. I'm super, super stoked about it. All right, let's see. So we had that 07 thing. Hot take, refaults mid. Sticky says, can you flip with your left hand? No, I can't. Well, I mean, I probably can, but I can't do it well. Scott, are there any other hobbies you're into? Ooh, I'm going to have to circle back with that after you teach me something. 07 is a little guy saluting. Holy, it is. Okay, got it. Well, now I don't know what Heatwave was saluting before. It took so long. Okay, that's cool. The carbon fiber feels chalky. Yeah, I don't know why people opt for the carbon fiber over G10. It might be because I think it weighs a little bit less and people like lighter things. I like a heavy Balisong and am a big fan of the feel of G10. Not a big fan of the feel of carbon fiber on Balisongs. Not yet, anyway. But who knows? That might change. All right. Let's see. Okay, going back to Ethan's question. Are there any other hobbies I'm into? So that's the thing. Before I got into Balisong flipping, I just cycle through, I don't cycle through hobbies because that makes it sound like I have 4 hobbies that I literally cycle through. That is not the case. I just go into a hobby until I get bored with it, and then I find another hobby and another and another and another, and it's bonkers. With Balisong, it's totally different because as I said in the last stream, with the Balisong thing, it's not just about knives. I've said it before. The way that I try to paint the picture with my words is that you have the Balisong, and you have the tricks, and then you have the flipper. The Balisong is the tool. The tricks are the art, but the flipper is the artist. I'm into this because I care about the artist. I love flipping. I love watching the flips, but I like knowing who's behind the Balisong, who's holding on to it, how are they doing. That's my big thing. I'm all about community support. Okay, so I don't know how I got onto that topic. Did I mention I have ADHD? So let's circle back to Ethan's question again, with regards to, are there any other hobbies that I have? There are loads of hobbies that I have gone through. I like longboarding. I like paddleboarding. I'm trying to every now and then learn play a couple chords on my guitar. I have a drum set, but don't know how to play it. What else? A couple 2-3 years ago, I decided that I was going to learn piano, and I got really good at playing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight." But that's all I could play, and I don't remember how to anymore. Let's see, what else? Yep, good call. 3D printing, love that. Man, what else? I'm a nerd. It's the craziest things that I nerd out on. I like even though I'm the most unorganized person you could probably ever meet. I love me a good organizational system. So like bullet journaling versus the Franklin Covey planner system versus getting things done. Um, you name it, I'm gonna find a way to turn it into a hobby. So to answer your question, so like there are some people who like balisongs, and that's because their hobby is knives, and that just happens to be a really cool knife to have in your collection. I'm not a knife guy. I'm not a gun guy. I'm not a car guy. I'm not a sports guy. I'm about as boring as it comes. But yeah, I do 3D printing. I do longboarding. I do paddleboarding. I do balisong. I do. That's about it. Pretty boring, I think. Yeah, I think. Let's see what we have here. Heatwave says it looks sick, and I think it has more grip. The carbon fiber. That's why everybody likes it. I haven't ever really. I don't care so much for the look of carbon fiber. But everybody has their own preferences. I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic. I do understand the grip piece though. But I heard that you can get like little micro slivers from the carbon fiber. When in your hands. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah. Satch says, I don't know if you've said, but are there any knives you're looking to get? Yeah, so my next Bally is going to be, my Bally of choice is going to be the BB Barfly Barracuda V2 with pink handles. That is the next thing I am looking for. Yeah, nothing super exciting. But it's a sweet Bally, and I like the idea of it. So I definitely want to get one of those. Hot take, if I could go back in time, I would not have gotten the Ghost Mako. If I could go back in time, I would have gotten the BB Barfly Barracuda V2 as my hefty boy Bally of choice. Because Gil hates my guts, and I'm starting to get sick of him. Would I sell it? I don't know. I honestly, he's the only Bally that I've actually named and have become that much of a nerd about. So I don't know. I have a special place in my heart for my Mako, just simply because I can flip it the least, and that seems like a personal challenge to me. I want to be able to flip the Mako because everybody loves the Mako, especially with the Cerakote coating on it. So I don't know if I'd sell it. I don't know. Let's see. Only pink on the Cuda. Yep. I would do pink on both handles. I'm actually designing a Balisong with a 3D printer right now. Awesome. I have a couple 3D printed Balisongs. This one is my most recent. Recent addition to my collection. I don't design any of these. I just find them and print them. But this one has actually a pretty solid weight system. So you can take these off just by popping this little pin out, and you can add up to 3 stainless steel ball bearings in each handle, and then 4 in the blade. And this is like, and it runs on bushings. And solid quality flipper. It just it's light. It's super light. It's totally flippable, and the ball bearings give it the momentum that it needs to get around. But it is just so incredibly light. It feels like you're flipping. What I've always said is it feels like you're flipping a feather that has weights on both ends of it. So. All right, let's see. I don't know if you said it, but are there any other? Okay, already covered that. IDK came back, and you got the maker, 3D printing. Yep, I'm actually designing. Okay, yep, we covered that. Only pink on the CUDA, and would you sell it? The Mako, I don't know. All right, we have caught up on chat. You guys let me know. We still doing good? You want me to get back to my talking points? Just doing a temperature check on the room. We still settled in for a very relaxing listen to Scott talk. Is that where we're at with things? Chilling. All right. We'll keep it going. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Talking points 100%. Thank you, Sticky. I appreciate it. All right, so yeah, everybody has different starting points. You know, two people are not going to be the same. Different sized hands, learning things at different speeds, different things going on in their lives. One person might be stressed out. The other person might be living the dream. Read my messages, please. I thought I did. Read me messages, please. Didn't I get all of them? Back. And you got the make. Yeah, I read all of those. Did I miss some from up front or up top? I don't think so. Yep, I think I've read everything, IDK. You let me know if I'm missing anything. All right, let's see. So I think I already said. Yeah, I already covered that. About selling. Would I sell it? Oh, wait, the Tenkai. I swear, did you post something about that on the Balisong Reddit? I want to say you did. Tenkai on Maker World. Let's see. Let's go to Maker World. Yeah, anybody out there who doesn't, or anybody out there who does 3D print, sound off in the chat. I'm very curious if we have other 3D printers out there. Okay, and you said Tenkai, Tenkai. Oh. Let's see. No, not me, the maker. No, not, okay, hold on. So chillin', talking points 100%. Read me messages, please. About selling. Okay, then look up the Tenkai on Maker World. No, not me, the maker. I don't know that I'm following you, but the Tenkai, I did pull that up. Yeah, interesting thing is, my Tenkai is pink and black. So yeah, as soon as this is one of the coolest 3D printed Balisong options out there, because anybody who doesn't know, if you have a 3D printed or a 3D printer and you're into Balisongs, you know when you get a new Balisong, they send spare hardware. And this particular 3D printable Balisong runs on that spare hardware. So if you get a Vulp, you can take the spare hardware that came with the Vulp, 3D print a second Balisong to have for free along with it. It's really neat. So yeah, IDK, are you the maker for that, or were you just noting that that's a cool 3D printed one? Just curious, because if you were the maker, that would be really cool. Because yeah, whoever did do that, I remember they had posted a couple weeks ago. Not you, okay? They had posted a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, on the Balisong Reddit, and that morning I started printing mine. So yeah, it's really cool. All right, let's see. So where did we leave off? I did make a mod for bushings though. Oh, did you? Okay, cool. All right, so I think I've already covered the whole, two people can flip the same knife and still be on completely different journeys. Like one person might touch, a Balisong and not be able to do anything with it, and then you hand it to somebody like Jack Pyro, and they're absolutely bonkers good. It's not a fault of the knife. It's just a difference in the people. So for that reason, that's why the comparing game is such a nonsensical thing for us to do, because really at the end of the day there's no benefit if there's no benefit. Now if you're comparing yourself to somebody else and applying constructive criticism and actually like getting something out of that, then that's totally cool, and you should do that and get whatever you can out of the experience. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you ask yourself, what is the benefit? What is the purpose of this? How are you coming out ahead? If you're not, I mean, it's easier said than done, but yeah, it's all you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot. So, comparison breaks presence. So, when you are flipping, you flip your best when you're relaxed, when you're focused, and when you're present. Meaning, you're going to be dropping the Balisong all the time. If you're like super stressing out about stuff, in your brain, and it's kind of like when you're flipping and recording, or if you're live streaming and you're flipping while you're live streaming, you can't get out of your own head, and it makes the flipping worse, which really sucks, because the stress is, oh my gosh, I need to be better than I usually am. I have to nail this. This has to go good. But because of all of that stress and all of that pressure, it doesn't. You're not relaxed. You're not focused, and you are not, in your own body. You're in your own head, and it's a completely different place. So doing that comparison, I mean, it pulls you into your own head. It creates expectations that don't need to be there, future expectations even, and then you create these scoreboards. This person is better than this, but it doesn't make any sense. Let's see, what do we got in chat? Satch says, I was thinking about it the other day. Flipping is similar to meditation, where the best flipping is when the mind is still. That is such a profound statement. I'm glad that you shared that, Satch. You are absolutely correct. Yeah, I mean, flipping is, I don't, it's very, I can see it being very meditative. I definitely, oh yeah, Heatwave says it's best jamming to music. Normally I do listen to music. No, I guess not. I can't say normally because it's not like one versus the other, but I definitely do enjoy listening to music. It actually helps with my flow a bit, because it feels like when I'm listening to music, I tend to flip with the beat, which is, I don't know, probably a normal thing to do, but I really enjoy it. Yeah, so So yeah, it is very much, for a lot of people, and I've chimed in. I get that all the time. It rocks. Oh, the getting into the flow, listening to music. Yeah. Um, so I'll get to that in a minute. I keep getting these fun questions that pop into my head, but I don't want to turn this into the hey, let's ask Ethan all the questions. So I'm taking note of questions that I'm going to want to ask later. Feeling like you're flipping amazing. What? Wait, feeling like you're flipping amazing while listening to a song you like. Exactly, exactly. When you get into that flow, there's something about. It's kind of like landing that trick that you've been working on for a while. There's something about things just working the way that they're supposed to work that is just I don't know. There's something magical about it. And that's why I like the slow buttery flipping. That's why I like the like Pez flipping. Where they keep the belly on the fingertips and it's going around all slow and methodical, because uh, it's just super smooth. There's something about it, and when you're able to time it up with music too, it doesn't compare to anything else as far as I can think of. And I'm just blown away so much by some of the editing that people do, where with aerials, with um, various transfers, just the way that they line the music up with the belly dropping and the slowdown, and then the beat hits when you grab it. And I can't wrap my head around that level of editing. There are just some really amazing people out there. Let's see what else we got in the chat. So I flip faster when listening to EDM and flip slower to country. It's fun. I can totally get that. But then again, it also would depend on the EDM that you're listening to. I mean, are you talking 165 beats per minute? You talking 210 beats per minute? Like what? How much are we cranking up the EDM? But yeah, I mean, I totally get that. All right, let's see. What else do I have in the notes? Let's see. So speaking of kind of mindfulness and kind of being in that meditative state, um, you know, it it is something that when you're not there, when you're not present, you do drop it more, and that's just life. The thing is, you can't get out of your own head either. That has to come naturally. So it's not one of those things. It's kind of like if you're having a bad day and somebody says, "Oh well, get over it." Thanks, dude. That was very helpful. Now I can get on with my day. It isn't that easy. Just because somebody says, "Oh, you should be okay," doesn't mean that you're going to be. Same thing goes with everything else. You have to do you, as authentic as you can. I don't know if that made any sense. I just kind of went into a ramble and lost my train of thought. So let's take a look in the chat. Tech Flipper says, "My brother, just another me." What? I'm just another you. Is that what you're saying? Sorry, I just got back on. Cool. Okay, I flip. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's see. So the other thing is Balisong tricks. It's a meme. Sorry. Okay. Cool. Balisong tricks don't care if you can do them versus somebody else. The Balisong does not care who's watching. It doesn't care who's better. It doesn't care who went viral. It only responds to a couple things: your timing, your grip, and your attention to detail. That's the only thing that your Balisong is going to give a crap about with regards to your practicing. So, totally stressing yourself out over, am I going to be able to do this versus in comparison to this other person? Again, it's a losing game. All right, the only comparison that helps, simply put, is comparing yourself to yourself, the past you versus the present you. You know, take a look at what were you doing yesterday? What were you doing last month? You know, how are you landing your stuff? How are you feeling about it? You know, what was your relationship the with the flipping and with the community? You know, are things better now than they were? And if the answer is yes, you're doing it. You're doing the right thing. If the answer is no, take a step back and do some self assessment. Um, but when you do take a step back and you recess, you know, do so very gently. Um, you are comparing you to you, and that's okay. You know, you're comparing your level of comfort today versus your level of comfort, you know, past. But you're also, I mean, take a look at how you're approaching the new trick that you're looking at. You know, if me, for example, you know, I comically don't know the shortstop. When I think about learning the shortstop, you know, I could look at it one of two ways. Is it something that causes me stress, or is it something that I am genuinely curious about and excited about? You know, and you can kind of reframe things in that way. You know, fear versus curiosity. So, just another kind of spin that you can put on things, if that helps. But really, as I said before, comparing you to somebody else, you are not them. You don't know what they know. Your hands are a different size. They're flipping a different valley. There's nothing fair about comparing you to somebody else. The only fair comparison is yourself over time. Um, so you can take that. You know, speaking of looking at something new and turning it into curiosity, you can take that and you can you know, turn that comparison into curiosity by, instead of saying, you know, why can't I land this? Why can't I do that? This other person is doing it better than me. And instead you can say, how can I learn from that? You know, what part of this thing is causing me a struggle? And that can give you an idea of you know, what you can work on, or how you can break it up, or how you can approach the trick. But then again, you know, you can also, instead of saying, and I've said it a bunch of times, instead of saying, you know, why can't I do that? You can reach out to the person who is doing it and say, how are you doing that? You know, can you give me some advice? Can you give me some tips and some tricks? You know, use that curiosity to keep the joy of Balisong flipping alive, to reach out, to meet new people, to do new things. You know, that's, I keep saying it, that's the great thing about this community, is that everybody is so approachable and relatable. It's amazing. I mean, right now I'm sitting here with the Blade Bias, Mr. Camaro EE himself, Ethan, in chat, just listening to me ramble on like a tool about my opinions on things, as though I am some sage Balisong guru. You know, it's the funniest thing. You know, life is funny, the way that it all works out. All right. All right, guys. Honestly, that was me getting through all of my talking points. You would think that me getting through my talking points for a third time this evening would have made for a much smoother talk. I don't feel like that was the case. I feel like that one was pretty choppy, because I threw this one together pretty last minute, because I decided that I was bored and wanted to do a second stream today. So I do appreciate you guys toughing through it, though. Still got 7 people on. I'm not necessarily done. I'm not feeling anxious or panicky right now. So, you know, I leave it up to you guys. If you guys want to start jumping into the chat and saying some stuff and giving me something to kind of riff off of, you can go ahead and do that. If you guys are not interested in keeping this thing going, because we are getting close to 2 hours, you know, we can do whatever. Get it cracking. Eventually, I will get it cracking. I just watched your Satch. I just watched your video on the crack, and I was laughing my butt off. I'm not gonna lie. I was uh, oh, what was I gonna say? I was uncomfortable at first, but I warmed up to it. It had me laughing. It was nice. IDK says, keep it. Keep what? Keep streaming? Heatwave says, it's nice to listen to your opinions on things. Thank you, Heatwave. I appreciate that. I have lots of opinions on things. So if you guys, if you like hearing my opinions, and you guys want to hear my opinions, feel free to start asking me some questions in the chat. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like everybody right now, everybody we have in the chat, like you guys are absolutely killer. Ethan is, Blade bias, so that speaks for itself. But Heatwave, Satch, IDK, Sticky, Tech Flipper, I mean, all of you guys have been like showing up to almost every, at least a subsection of you guys have been showing up to every single one of my, let's say, hey, finally managed to catch a stream. What's going on, Glacier Flips? Yeah, you caught it, and we're almost 2 hours in, and I'm trying to figure out if we're going to keep going or not. So IDK says keep it. I don't know what he's saying keep it to. If he's saying keep it going, I can definitely do that. I just need you guys to jump into the chat, ask me some questions, give me some ideas, give me something to start bouncing around on you guys. I have no issue sharing my hot takes on anything. But as far as talking points go, I covered all of mine. Let's see, keep streaming. Okay, I have no issue. Do you guys mind if I grab my chair and sit down and get a little comfy? Or do you guys really like the whole me standing up and walking around and flipping? You tell me. How do you want this to keep going? I can sit down, grab a chair, or I can keep grabbing ballies and floating around. Sit. Got it. Give me 1 second. All right. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up on the stream when I just adjusted my phone. Thank you. Oh, did I? Let me see. Hold on. Let's. All right. Let's clear out some tabs and see what's going on. All right. Hey, I'm curious. How does your family feel about Balisong flipping hobby? Do they support it or think it's a bit intense? No, they're good. As a matter of fact, I actually, beyond just the Balisong hobby, I actually had to do a deep dive with them on my putting my stuff out on YouTube because I have kids that are still in school. So one of my things that I wanted to make sure was going to be fine was, if I start putting out YouTube content, there's a good chance. Hey, what's going on? Minley, I think. There's a good chance that the kids they're in school with could find out that their dad does or not even Balisong, just YouTube, and it could be cringy. It could make them embarrassed. So I did talk to the kids, talk to the family about it, make sure that everybody was not going to be embarrassed by the fact that I was putting my content out there. But as far as Balisong flipping specifically, no, everybody's cool. Everybody's down with it. Like I said before, I have 5 grandkids, and now each of my grandkids have a 3D printed Balisong, just like this one, that they can flip along with Grandpa anytime they come over, which is really, really cool. So no, my family is all on board with me doing my Balisong stuff. Let's see. IDK says mine doesn't like it because I flip all day. Understandable. Do you have any interest in customizing your ballies? I find anodizing very fun. So Anodizing, I would be very interested in getting into and trying. Um, it doesn't seem very difficult, but I don't have any titanium Bally's, and I don't know what anodizing with aluminum would even look like, or if that's even a thing. I don't know. But uh, as far as potentially dyeing G10 scales, if you consider that to be a form of modification, you tell me, and I will let you know a project that I'm about to be working on in the second half of this weekend. So you tell me, is dyeing G10 scales, does that fall under the category of customizing your Bally? Or are you specifically more talking about the extra? Definitely dyeing the scales. Okay, cool. In that case, I have, and people have been all over the place. Some people like it. Some people think it's mid. Some people don't care one way or the other. But I love my Jade 10 G10 scaled refault. But I did not know that that jade green is the natural color for G10. So with this being a jade green G10 scale, theoretically I should be able to dye this and it will take the color beautifully. So, Glacier Flips, if you were to dye a refault, how would you go by colorway? Would you do a fade? Would you do a solid color? If you did a fade, what would you go? What color to what color? And if you did solid, what would you do as far as that's concerned? What is your preference there? You tell me, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing with mine. Nobody else in the chat cares because I think everybody else has already heard it. But Glacier Flips, I need to know, how would you color your G10? Red and black? All right. All right. And the black would make that relatively easier to do because you wouldn't want any sort of banding on on the fade. So yeah, black would be a pretty safe one to do on top of the red to make a solid fade. So I, on the other hand, am going to be doing super pink. So that's my colorway. That's my color of choice. I'm super excited about it. Don't have any preference that color. Okay. All right. Let's see. Sticky says, time for me to go. Thanks again for all the fun. Looking forward to the next stream. Thanks, Sticky. Again, Wednesdays at 8 p.m., Saturdays at noon. Feel free to drop in anytime. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for saying hi. We'll talk later. Everybody else, what's going on? You guys still want me to do this? You guys want me to keep streaming? Or you guys... Okay, IDK's helping out with some questions. What printers do I have? I just have the Bamboo Lab A1. That's what I got, and I love it. I've seen some other printers, and they don't seem as user friendly as the Bamboo Labs is. So that's what I got, and I like it. It works out well for me. The funny thing is, as far as how much is that, I didn't pay anything for it. So I got this 3D printer for free through a trade. And the funny thing was, okay, so here's the story. I broke my Xbox Series X because I have a standing desk. When I got it set up, I set it up while the desk was standing and then totally forgot that dropping a standing desk down could potentially damage the Xbox if the Xbox was under said desk. And the HDMI cord was under the desk. So when the desk dropped down, it hit the end of the HDMI cord and broke. So Xbox Series X busted, put it in the utility room in the basement, promptly forgot about it. Then about a year and a half later, one of my kids' friends offered to trade me their functional PlayStation 5 for my broken Xbox Series X. To which I said, bet. So we did, and so I had a PlayStation 5 with external hard drive, crap ton of games, and got rid of my Xbox Series X, and it functioned perfectly. Then, see, the thing is, I had already had a PlayStation 5 in the living room, so I was like, oh yeah, this will be awesome. Now I have another PlayStation 5. I'll put that one up in my office, so I don't have to go to the living room to play the PlayStation. I never go to the living room to play the PlayStation. I don't ever play the PlayStation. So after like 2 or 3 days of this PlayStation being set up in my office, I'm like, there's got to be a better use of what this could be. So I went on to Facebook Marketplace and just started looking at stuff. Let me think. Was I don't think I could have been. No, I was flipping at the time because I also have so the funny thing is, this 3D printed Balisong that I use is super light because it was printed on the Bamboo Labs, which uses filament for its printing material. The first 3D printer that I had is a resin 3D printer, and it prints, instead of it pooping out plastic and building up a thing, what it does is it submerges a plate into this liquid resin that cures with ultraviolet light. And then, there's a little screen underneath, and it'll shoot ultraviolet light in a pattern to layer by layer build something out of the liquid resin. Anyway, all of that to say that, yes, ADHD to the max, very true. Stories with me are fun. Hopefully you guys are following along and are in for the ride. Buckle up, I should have said that. So the resin 3D printed Balisong, super heavy in comparison to this thing. So anyway, I was flipping Balisong at the time, wanted to see if I could trade the PlayStation 5 for something cool, reached out to one person for a DJI, the gimbal one, I can't remember, Pocket 2. That didn't end up panning out. Reached out to somebody else for a Apple computer, Apple Mini. That didn't work out. And then I saw that somebody was trying to sell a 3D printer, and I reached out and said, hey, this is what I have. I'd be interested in your 3D printer if you would be interested in a trade. And they said, yeah, I'm down. And it was a no-brainer. I mean, this 3D printer had been sitting in his garage for like a year and a half, still in the box, still sealed, and had no interest in using it. Whereas, I had this PlayStation that I had no interest in using. So he got a kick out of the PlayStation. I got a kick out of the 3D printer. End of the day, it was a banger of a trade. So that is my 3D printer story. How I got a 3D printer for free by trading my broken Xbox for a PlayStation 5 for a 3D printer. What tricks am I working on right now? I'm currently working on scissors. Okay, I am currently working on the Z choker to ice pick. So right now sitting, I can't even try, but the Z choker is what I'm mindlessly drilling. But when I'm really actively trying, it's the Z choker to ice pick. At this point, I think I can land it about half of the time. So, It's a good one for me right now to try. Scissors looks so satisfying. Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. Scissors is just that's when you have an aerial and you catch it with two fingers on one of the handles. I can't remember. And then potentially the double scissors is when you then throw that up again. You catch it, with your two fingers, then throw it up again and keep that circulation going. Okay, yeah, good. Well, I keep getting impressed every single time I take a guess, a stab at what something is in the Balisong community, and people come back and confirm. Yeah, I almost know what I'm talking about. Glacier Flips, are you new to me? Did you stumble across this stream by happenstance, or are you one of my subs out of curiosity? No pressure if you're not. That is totally cool. But I'm curious. Yes. Oh yeah. Yes was you confirming the scissors thing. Okay. Who else do we have in the chat? We got Heatwave, we got Glacier Flips, IDK is still there. Just subbed, found you on Blade Bias Discord. Okay, cool. Sub to him immediately. Who, Glacier Flips? I will sub to him immediately. I'm pretty sure that's not what Ethan is saying, but I will play that humble card and assume that is. Glacier Flips. Because I literally will find anybody who does Balisong stuff and will sub and obsessively watch Balisong content. I am such a nerd. It's ridiculous. Flips. Glacier Flip Balisong. Let's see if we can find you. I can't find you. I'll look later. Let's keep things going. I know, Ethan. I know you were saying sub to me immediately. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know about immediately. I would say sub to me because worst case scenario, I will eventually do something stupid that you can laugh at. So, for example, Glacier Flips, you're new here. Go back through my shorts. You'll find one where I'm talking about how I can do the behind the eight ball to a helix to a behind the eight ball in succession for 45 minutes, and I couldn't be happier, despite the fact that I'm doing nothing impressive. And during that short clip, I promptly throw the Balisong up and smack it directly into my face. So, as I said, you should sub to me because eventually you will see something or hear something that is low-key comical. Heatwave says that was pretty funny, not gonna lie. There's a reason why I put that out there. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I've only been doing this for 6 months. I'm not that great, and I intentionally make sure that my not that great stuff is out there for everybody else to see because I want to make sure that people don't feel like this is a hobby, that the only way that you can participate, the only way that you can, be a part of the hobby is if you are good, if you have that quality content. It's kind of like if you're a car guy and, you have this really beat up, rusty Pinto, you may be embarrassed to go to a car show in that rusty beat up Pinto and say to the world, I am a car guy. People may turn around and be like, how are you a car guy when you're driving that? But that's a rough spot to be in. And the Balisong community is the beauty of it is absolutely nothing like that. Because everybody is just so supportive, so open, so friendly. Probably not everybody. There's jerks everywhere, I'm sure. But the fact that I can so comfortably, put my my silly, crappy content, out there for people to watch, and people are telling me, hey, I like seeing this content. I like the fact that you're doing this thing that you're doing. And it's just wild because yeah, I mean, I do this for me. This is a very like a personal thing that I do. It's great that I get this interaction with you all, and if you guys are getting something out of it, that's really awesome too. I could not be happier because my big thing is I just want to help people. If anybody has anything that's going on that they need help with, I want to help support you anybody who needs it. So this is like the perfect community for me, and I wish I would have stumbled across it years ago. All right, what do we got? Glacier Flips is asking, you play games often? If so, what are you playing right now? I don't really play very many games. Sometimes I do. Uh, I the most recent game I've been trying was Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. Not playing it very much though. I have a buddy that I want to play it with, and I basically played through the tutorial bit pieces up to where it says, "Great, now you can play with friends." And I have set it aside and waiting for my buddy to get the game and us to be in a spot where we can start playing it. So yeah, Space Marines 2 is a pretty cool game that I just started getting into. But other than that, I mean, I've done Fortnite. I'm not good at it. I have done Rocket League. Also not good at it. Oh, Heatwave, you do sim racing too? I know Ethan does. Let's see. Rocket League and sim racing. Oh, Ethan, you do Rocket League too? I didn't know that. I'm still curious. What was that? Do you remember? I say this as though, you remember every single time you do a stream or something like that. It was some random, like 2 o'clock in the morning, you were playing a video game where you were like, I don't even know what you were doing. It didn't look like it had any sort of purpose whatsoever. Uh, yeah, but it looked interesting. I'm very curious what that game was called. All right, let's see. So, Rocket League and sim racing based. Ethan, what's based? I don't know where that came from. All right. What else we got? Do you remember anything else? The scene was, it was almost like you were in the Grand Canyon. You were in this super long canyon, and you just kept running back and forth and hopping on little rock shelves in the canyon. I don't even remember. I mean, I think you were shooting a gun at something, but yeah, I can't remember what it was, or I can't remember anything else past that. I don't remember if you were running or if you were flying or whatnot. And I don't know why I'm asking you, because I'm not going to look for the game, but something to talk about. I have been playing Deltarune recently. Deltarune, what is that? What kind of game are we talking? Deltarune. Ooh. Is that by... Oh, there's no way. That has got to be by the same people that did Undertale. Right? Undertale's parallel story. Okay. Got it. I have never played Undertale, but I have great respect for it. Let's see. I genuinely don't remember. Maybe Peak, the climbing game. Nope. It had guns. You were shooting something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Let's see. 2 hours, 10 minutes. 6 people watching. What else do you guys want? You tell me. You want me to stand up and do some flipping? You have questions you want to ask me about? RoboQuest sounds like it might be it. Let me look that up. Tell you if that was it. It kind of reminded me of Slime Rancher, if I'm being honest. Though I don't know why. Yeah, it was RoboQuest. That's what it was. All right, now I know what it is. Apparently, you can get it for $15 on Steam right now. Yeah, record stream length. That it is. That it is. And the funny thing is, as soon as when I started doing this, yeah, I am a broken record. I apologize. You guys, especially, who have been tuning into me for the last couple of months, but definitely the last week while I've been streaming. You guys keep hearing me say the same stuff again and again and again, and I apologize. But as I've said before, the whole every single time I go to stream, I struggle to hit the go live button. Every time I totally panic because I think something is gonna go wrong. I'm gonna be embarrassed. I'm gonna have a panic attack, something like that. So right before I go live, every single time, my stomach is churning. And after every stream, I'm totally sure that I'm gonna delete it. This one, especially a 2 hour long stream, there's no way I have not done something, said something that was so over the top cringe that I'm most likely going to be clearing this one out. But I'm probably going to save it so that I can chop it up and turn it into something else. But anyway, ADHD brain, full alert. Back to the original point. Record stream length. The funny thing is, up until the tail end of last week, I would start having massive panic attacks as we started nearing an hour. Because I don't know why, but as soon as I saw that I was coming near an hour, I would start freaking out, and I would end every single stream. Like, even there was one stream, if you guys go back and look, there was one stream where I said, like, literally 2 minutes before I ended the stream, I'm feeling good. I'm very confident with things right now. I'm not gonna end. I only got one person on. It's very just 1-to-1. This is chit chatty. All is good. 2 minutes later, totally freaking out. Stream is over. So the fact that I'm going on over 2 hours with you guys, this is really cool. On top of the fact that I've already run out of all of my talking points, and my talking points were boring to begin with. So man, this has been a record stream length, and probably the most boring stream I've done yet. As far as content goes, as far as like you guys tuning in, you guys have been putting up with some pretty low hanging fruit, but I appreciate you sticking it out with me. Let's see. So I got a win from Heatwave. That's awesome. Glacier Flip says, I'm excited for the next weekend because Half Sword is releasing. Half Sword, what is that? Have you tried Chivalry 2? No, is it similar? Yeah, what games do you guys play? I know Ethan said he plays Rocket League and Sim Racing. Heatwave said Rocket League and also addicted to Sim Racing. Glacier, I think, already said looking forward to Half Sword. It's been a good stream. I've just been listening as a podcast. Yeah, same. That's basically what I do. No offense. It's not that I don't watch your streams, Ethan, but when there are certain ones where I know this is talk, you're not talking about, like when you do Flip the Script. Usually, though, I did have to jump back over to watch you drop the false life on your foot. I had to watch that a couple times, not gonna lie. But very often I'll kick off those videos and then move over to another tab and just start working stuff out. So yeah, I totally get the whole using it as a podcast and listening. That's cool. So yeah, honest Ethan question. Using me as background noise. Scale of 1 to 10, boring level. You can't give me more than a 9, though, because I know that I'm not a 10, today at least, because my ADHD has been firing on all cylinders. Heatwave says, in some ways, kinda. I haven't really looked into Half Sword. Okay. Glacier Flips plays Arc Raiders. How cool is that? Is that a cool game? I've seen a lot of good stuff. I have been hearing a lot of good things about it, but I don't know much about it myself. RG or RPGS and Rogue Elites. Okay, cool. I gave you an off the chart in the poll earlier. All right, I appreciate it. At this point, I'm just trying to think of what else to talk about. We got 5 people in the chat. We are having people dwindle out. Let's see if I can identify the 5. We got Camaro EE, we got Glacier Flips, we got Heatwave. Those are the big ones who are interacting with the chat, I think. IDK may still be here, may have had to dip out. Either way, yeah, I'll do another sound check. You guys good still listening to me? Or you want me to start wrapping things up? And again, I will not be offended if you guys want me to start wrapping things up. Time-wise, we're looking at 11 o'clock my time, so we're good. We're never going to tell you to stop. I appreciate that, Heatwave. I appreciate that. All right. Well, let me see. Let me see if I have a couple other. So I'm a big writer. Let me rephrase. I'm not a big writer. I think if you're running low on energy or topics, wrapping it up is a fine idea. So that's the thing. So I have a couple notepads where periodically I'll jot down some thoughts. Let me scan through those and see if I have any off the cuff things to chat about. I might, in all honesty, because yeah, I do have opinions. But again, you guys in the chat, you let me know too. You guys have any questions about me? You've over the course of the weekend, other than Glacier, you're new around here, so you have a little bit less of an introduction to me. But everybody else, you guys have been, getting the salt and pepper seasoning of who is Scott. So you guys have any questions about me, who I am, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it? Let's see. Ooh, here's one that I can kind of go over. It's not a true spoiler, and I kind of have covered it, but it might be new to some people. What's my daily driver? So that's interesting. My favorite flipper and what I flip best with, and because of that could be and should be my daily driver, is my Orion S. However, and I don't know why, it is not the one that I grab and stick in my pocket the most. The one that I grab and stick in my pocket the most is my Thomas Balisong Refault. It is not my best flipper. It is not my most consistent. But for some reason, it is the one that I grab and carry around with when I'm going out. If I'm staying in the house and I'm leaving my office to go let the dog out or something like that, the one I'll grab will be my Orion S, because it is the most satisfying thing for me to flip. But if I'm going outside of the house, it's my Refault. That's my go-to, and I again don't know why. But knowing that tomorrow I will be dyeing my Refault super pink, I can say unequivocally it will be my daily driver, because it's the one that I think is the most visually appealing. So that's what my daily driver. That's how I would define my daily driver at the moment. What about you? What do you guys? What ballys are in your pockets more often than not? Curious minds have to know. Do you think it will change the texture at all? Um, I don't think so. Hopefully the dyeing goes well. I agree. I agree. You already know. Yep. Yep. Satch, I know what you're flipping. You're flipping your baby. Hydra and the Orion 1.5. Heatwave, you were flipping some good content there. Got it, got it. Yeah, I'm hoping the dyeing goes well too. I'm gonna need to like go out to Goodwill or something and pick up a cheap pan that I don't have to worry about ruining. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be sweet. So long as I don't botch the job up. But I have faith that I'll do a halfway decent job. So, and I'm not trying to do a fade. That I think is where things would probably get dicey. Is if I was trying to do a fade and didn't do it perfectly. Uh, let's see. Favorite sounding Bally that you own? Ooh. So, hmm. This is interesting. Yours is the Sirius V 4.5. Okay. This is interesting because here's the thing. I don't hate any of my Balisongs. And if I can't flip it, I actually love it a certain way. Um, just because it makes it more unique and more interesting. So, favorite sounding. The thing is, absolutely love the clack of the UFO. It is such a satisfying snap. So I almost want to say this, but that would be such a stupid answer because this is not the best anything that I own. It is not the best sounding. It is not the best flipping. It is not the best looking. It is not. I mean, it is. It looks sweet, and my wife got it engraved, so it says "I love you, Scott" on it, which is super sweet. Um, and it's the desert. The desert. What do you call it? Desert. It's not desert camo. I don't know the candy looking one. Um, I low key want the UFO. Take a look at if you're thinking about getting it. Take a look at Blade HQ. Is it Blade HQ? Blade HQ. Um, check them out before you get it anywhere else. Actually, let me pull it up. UFO. Oh yeah. So yeah, because like right now, if you wanted the yellow one, you could pick it up for 18 bucks. If you wanted the red one, you could pick it up for 22 bucks. But the thing is, and I was really toying around with doing this. I almost did around Christmas time. You can buy a 3-pack of the UFO for 38 bucks. So basically, you're getting each one for what is that? A little less than 13 bucks. 13 bucks for a UFO isn't bad. I was gonna get the 3-pack and basically give my grandkids UFOs, Flightanium UFOs for Christmas. Because again, everybody should have a Balisong from my perspective. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Oh, okay. So let's go back to my. While I am looking at my reading stuff, you guys, again, hop in the chat. You let me know if there's anything you want to hear me talk about, hear my thoughts on. Um, let's see. I'm reading something real quick to see if this is something that that would be shareable or if it's not worth it. Hmm, I don't even know. I'm not even following the train of that thought. Um, hmm. Here is a script on something that I have been working on, but I can't use it anymore because originally it was going to be a part of my collection video, which most of you know my collection video has since been put out there. And I removed the side topic from that particular one. So I have a lot of information in this one that has not been shared yet, but this is the whole like what got me into the Balisong hobby. Here's my tale of woe. And yeah, I don't know about jumping into that one quite yet. That one's going to be interesting. I still. What are your guys' thoughts? I've gotten a little bit of feedback from like Can't Flip for Ship and a couple others during the live stream where it came up. But my entry into the Balisong hobby story is a kind of a I don't know, a I don't want to say sad. I will say it is a uh, putting myself out there story. So I'm gonna figure out, what do you guys think? Should I do it as a live stream where people can kind of ask questions and I can kind of use the the charm and the charisma that I seem to pull out of somewhere while I'm live streaming, or should I do it as a long form content video? How would you guys, and knowing that like a lot of people don't see my streams, it's great that you guys did, but a lot of people don't, and a lot of people who see the streams afterwards don't go in and watch those old streams. A lot of people have been, but most people don't. So very curious. Should I do my this is my story in the form of a video, or should I do my this is my story in a live stream? Sounds like everybody's saying video. Okay, video. Got it. That's interesting. Only and the only reason I say that's interesting is I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. I think you're right, but I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that, because if there was a way that I could like share my screen for anybody that hasn't seen my videos, like when I okay, you like when I stream and then do the highlights. Okay, Ethan, I totally get where you're coming from. Important topics like that are best left to the scripted videos. My concern is that my scripted videos do not. I mean, I sound like a robotic Mr. Rogers meets Bob Ross in those videos. I don't sound normal as far as I'm concerned. I just it I sound very uncomfortable, and especially with this learning who I am sort of thing. I want to make sure that I am in fact coming across as authentic. I don't want anybody to watch that particular story and be like, okay, he he did that for the views or, you know, anything like that. So, yeah, I think, let me read what Satch says here. Yeah, like the last video you posted, maybe have a loose script, like some notes, key points. Love you, but agree when you read from the scripts, it doesn't sound as good. Thank you. Thank you for the honest feedback. And in no way, shape, or form am I offended by that, because again, I know it. I watch my stuff after I'm done with it. As a matter of fact, I probably watch my content more than you guys watch my content, because it enthralls me. It's just so weird, because I know how I am, and I know how I think I am perceived by the world. And when I watch these videos of me interacting with you guys, I've said it before. I am very animated. I'm very engaging. I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm really controlling the room. It's so not anything that I would normally say is what I do. So it's very strange. So I mean, if you feel like you sound better while you're streaming, you can always film the video live, but I think you'll find your groove in offline recordings. I appreciate your confidence in my ability to do that. But I think you're right. I really do. Because as I'm watching my streams now, even the more recent ones, which one was it? It might have actually been this morning's stream. No, I don't think it was this morning's stream. One of the last ones that I did, I was totally sure that I even said during the stream, as I was trying to close it, this was a really choppy closing, you know, and I couldn't undo that. But then I go back and I watch it, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is, I would totally watch this. So that's, I don't know if that, you guys keep saying I'm humble. I don't know that I'm humble, because when I go back and I watch my stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I would totally watch that. I should keep that out there. So while I'm you know, kind of pushing back on, you know, you guys telling me I'm goat and all that stuff, you know, on the same accord, I have a healthy dose of self-appreciation, that's for sure. Let's see, what do we got going on in the chat? Can't improve if you don't practice. Yeah, very true. Yeah, like I said, as I was saying, I think when I go back and I look at the first live streams that I did in comparison to the latter live streams that I've done, all within a single week's time, the latter ones sound just so much smoother, so much more polished and natural than the earlier ones. And the earlier ones were way more so than I am in my videos. So now that I've been doing this a little bit more, I have, you know, a week and a half under my belt by way of live streaming and hearing my voice and getting my voice out there. I am interested to see what I might be able to do as far as a sit down video. Speaking of which, how do you guys want to see? This is all, I mean, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. So don't feel like I'm making you guys make my life's decisions for me. But on that particular, this is my story. Do you guys want me standing there like I have in the other videos, flipping a Balisong in front of the tank, kind of just talking to you? Or do you want the Balisong put away and for it to be like a real fireside chat? You know, you're paying attention to me, I'm paying attention to you, sort of thing. Should on that one, should I have the Ballys out, or should I put them away? Curious what you guys think. Let's see. I also think you could do an offline video, but just not word for word scripted, because you also don't want to be interrupted by chat while trying to get an important story out. That's true. That is true. It could be a good topic to practice your offline recording. Yeah. Uh, Post it as a private video first. Now I can give feedback. Thanks, Heatwave. Whichever is most comfortable for you, to be honest. Cool. Um, hmm. I wonder. Well, and one thing that I could do too is, you know, we're talking through this, and I'm really wait. It depends on how much you want people to focus on your words. Good call. And it's, I mean, the funny thing is, we're chatting about this now. There, like, I am not so important that my origin story needs this much attention. It's this is a really ridiculous problem that I'm having right now. If you were to have your whole body on it, people will focus on your face and your words. If you were flipping, you might introduce a distraction from what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, I think I probably will kind of do. I don't know. This one's gonna be. It's gonna be an interesting one. I might do a little flipping in it, but I think it is going to be like because it really is like the community's introduction to me. I mean, I've been doing my thing for a bit, you know. Now I say a bit, a couple months. The live streaming thing has been more recent, but even in my most more recent live streaming stuff, I've been getting myself out there. I've gotten the attention of Ethan. I've or this afternoon on chat, I was hanging out with Tony and Jack Pyro. It I have been able to reach out to, talk to, interact with just a great number of really amazing people throughout the hobby. Man, my ADHD brain just totally forgot where I was going with that. Tune in the chat, or if you guys can help remind me where I was going, what I was saying. I lost it. Oh well. All right, let's go back to these notes. Oops, and see if I had anything to chat about. I think I did. I think I had one thing, which is not so much part of the origin story. I've actually teased it and talked about it a little bit on streams. So yeah, that's something neat. My brain does that all the time. Same. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I actually have a little pendant that I wear that has a microphone on it that records like whatever is going on in my life, so that it can remind me of the things that I'm assuredly forgetting. Yeah, ADHD is super real over here. Um, Let me double check chat before I move on over to this topic that I think could get things going if you guys are feeling it. Um, let's see. So let's see. Am I just gonna read this? No, that's too much. Um, yeah. So the funny thing is, like my entire life, I have thought that I was an introvert. I was very, very much an introverted person. Very, a man is an island. That was me. Uh, you drop me off on a deserted island, and I'm not gonna care that I have nobody to talk to. Um, so very introverted my entire life. And it wasn't until joining the Balisong hobby and starting to reach out to and interact with people. And Ethan can attest to this. Ethan, I'm looking to you to chime in on the chat and confirm what it is that I'm saying here. When I first reached out to Camaro EE, once I learned how to Instagram enough to direct message somebody. I totally blew up his DMs. Um, Completely fanboy geeked out and totally blew up his DMs. I did the same thing to Brandon. I did that to people all over the community. Because basically, number one, I was excited that I knew how to use Instagram. But number two, I was all over. Not at all. You're a liar. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now so you are lying to make me look like a liar. I can grab screenshots and show everybody just how many bubbles the ratio of Scott to Ethan was in those conversations. No, not nothing against you. I was just. You're not lying in chat. Okay, fair, fair. We'll agree to disagree. I definitely was overdoing it. I was definitely very much extra. But the thing is, what that taught me in a really, really weird way, because I kept having to tell myself, listen, this guy is going to think that I am. It was a long message, but far from blowing up my DMs. True, I'm long worded. I tend to write paragraphs instead of sentences. But in doing that, in reaching out to Ethan, in reaching out to Brandon, and reaching out to everybody that I did, I started to connect some dots, and I started to ask myself some questions because, if I've been an introvert my entire life, if I am introverted by nature, why do I write in paragraphs instead of sentences? Why am I reaching out to all of these people like a starstruck fanboy? And I took a couple like serious steps back, and started really peeling back the layers of that onion, and actually learned that I am in no way, shape, or form introverted at all. I am an exceptionally extroverted person. Hence, writing in paragraphs, not in sentences. My conversations, my interactions with people are very much are in line with my ADHD brain that you guys have been trying to follow along with all evening long. So that's an interesting one for me, an interesting realization that I don't think came because of the Balisong hobby, and that's where we start tiptoeing in and around my origin story. But yeah, it's just really interesting that that all my life for 30 plus 40 years, being completely sure that I don't like people, and that I have no desire to interact with people, and that I am 100% cool just being in solo mode for all times. When I say solo mode, I mean I'm married, I have a wife, I have kids. I like not solo mode like that, but yeah, totally not the case. Very, very, very extroverted, and I never knew it. It was now the what caused that confusion is the fact that while I am very extroverted, I am very anxious. I'm very socially awkward. I'm very shy. So, I love talking to people, but you get me around more than a handful of people, and that's where the nerves start showing. So yeah, that's one interesting thing about me is that I am very much a people person that can only handle so many people at a time. Which is why the fact that concurrent viewers right now is 6, like totally manageable. This is awesome. Let's see, what do we have in the chat? So Ethan is confirming he'll at least confirm I was writing him long messages, but not blowing up the DM. So okay, we can settle on that. Thank you. I'm very introverted, very extroverted on the inside though. I can relate. I can understand where you're coming from with that. I think uh, very introverted but very extroverted on the inside. Yeah, I think I can relate to that. Let's see what else. What is something that either is going? Oh, I see chats happening, blowing up. Is like when people send me 40 reels in an hour. Oh yeah, and I'm sure like you probably get Ethan. So here's okay. Again, I'm not going to turn this into the let's ask Ethan 20 questions while I have your attention sort of thing. But I am curious because you are, a bigger content creator. I felt really bad writing you my novelettes to eventually respond to. Um, how often do you get I was unsure if you were even going to be able to read the DM because I figure you get DMs all over the place. So do you in fact get DMs like all the time? Like do you like the last couple of days, every single time I pulled my phone out, I was having to clear Instagram notifications that I have a new follower. My feed was liked. It was really really surreal. Is it like that for you? Because you have so many followers, like when somebody is new to the community and stumbles across your stuff, are you getting bombarded by these new people in the community all the time, or is it not so much? Is it much more manageable? And I'm just assuming that that people are knocking down your door. You don't get DMs as often as I think. Your level of followers isn't to the point of constant DMs like Will. Oh, okay. Interesting. Definitely manageable. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know because I'd say I get a few a day normally. Oh, yeah, that is totally manageable. Got it. Okay. I cannot believe, we may end up. I'm gonna go. It was fun chatting with you all. Glacier Flips, it was great to meet you. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for subbing. We'll talk to you in the next one. Um, yeah, man, almost 3 hours. And again, this is my second time streaming today, so this is pretty cool. Uh, I think, yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm done for the night. I'm not gonna rush off, but FYI, low key, I think we're gonna start rolling this one down gently. We might still get to 3 hours because, like I said, I'm not rushing off yet because we still got some people here. But yeah, FYI. So what can we end today's stream out with? Hmm. Ooh. Ethan, I will ask you one question, but you don't have to answer it because you are on your off time. But you said I can ask whatever, so I will. Out of curiosity, no pressure. Do you think you're waiting until full February before your next video, or are you thinking? Because I know that earlier in the month you were saying you were taking most of the month of January off. Uh, Very curious if most of the month means like almost all of February or all of January, or if we are just a handful of days away from the next drop. Have to ask. By all means, play the silent card on that one. Um, let's see what can we wrap up today's stream with. Honestly, dude, I was planning on being back a week and a half ago, but I've settled into not uploading, and I'm hitting a cycle where I feel like I don't have a good enough idea to come back with. Ah, okay. Hmm. You were going to be back a week and a half ago. All that quality content we've been missing out on. Um, Seriously though, that's totally cool. Definitely don't get yourself to the point where you're like, well, I guess I'm just going to be done. Definitely come back. Um, but you don't. I mean, I planned 2 weeks off for January, but here we are. And take your time, man. I mean, the funny thing is, it isn't a situation where I mean, it's not like it's a situation where you're holding up the Balisong community all on your own, but you're doing a fair bit of the heavy lifting, at least on the YouTube side of things. And I think the fact that you have been taking more than 2 weeks off in January kind of has made some of us who are interested in the content creation, kind of pull up our bootstraps and put the stuff out there for people to watch because it's not going to make itself. I think the fact that the community doesn't currently have your stuff is what's really pushing the community to, give me a shot, give Flippin' the Loon a shot, give, Satch a shot. Uh, yeah. So I mean, no rush. I think I think people are finding content out there, which is super good. But the people definitely miss you. We definitely feel the uh, the void that is the Blade Bias content. But don't think that you have to come back with a good enough idea. All you have to do is show up, and people are gonna show up because yeah, I mean, it's it's uh, it's kind of like watching Pez flip. Watching you do your YouTube stuff is kind of like watching Pez flip Balisongs in that it's like it seems effortless. So anyway, you're the man, and we appreciate you doing what you do. Uh, Looking forward to the content coming back out. Happy to hear that it could be any day whenever you decide to dust off your bellies and bless us with another post. But one way or the other, you do you at your own speed. Um, I'm reading something that might be funny. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Oh, no, that's just Scott thought. Let's see. That's very nice of you to say. When my co-host Ty left back in the day, I made it a goal to keep uploading to fill that void until others could. I am planning on stopping Blade Bias eventually, which is sad, but you have hinted at it, which I'm sure the community appreciates. You letting people know, hey, this is a temporary thing. It will lessen the blow whenever it is that you either slow down or stop, or at least stopping bi-daily uploads and focusing on higher quality stuff. But we'll see. I don't think we're there yet. Good. I'm glad because I don't think the community is ready for you to step away. But I think that the absence of Blade Bias in January has been, um, I don't want to say a breath of fresh air for the Balisong community, but I think it has been a necessary shock. Yeah, we'll say it's not a breath of fresh air. It's more of a cold plunge. Um, to the community, and like I said, kind of making the hamster Balisongs and the 24 Scots and the you know Satches and the small content creators. It really is making us kind of plug our stuff a little bit more. That's what it feels like anyway. 2 hours, 56 minutes, and 10 seconds. I am going to keep things going until we hit 3 hours. Then once we hit 3 hours, I'm going to call it. Who else do we have? We have 6 concurrent viewers. So we still have Ethan, which is awesome. Glacier had to leave. Heatwave, you still there? What about Satch? We still got you. What about, let's see, who else did we have? Do we have IDK? I can't remember if he had to leave or not. Do we have Tech Flipper? Sticky had to leave. I know that. And the funny thing is, Real Balisong Channel showed up and said, "Humble Goat." Gave me a heart, and I think that was the interaction that we had with them. All right, we do in fact still have Satch and Heatwave. Man, I am really glad that somebody that Ethan explained the whole guy saluting thing. Now I see it. Totally see it. All right. Out of curiosity, and in no way, shape, or form is this like, me trying to, puff up my chest or anything like that. But Heatwave, you've been hanging out with me for like a week now, at least. Satch, the fact that you've come along with me on this one has been really great. I thought I've been watching your videos more so than you've been watching my content. So, you reaching or following me into the stream is really cool. But out of curiosity, Heatwave and Satch and anybody else who's on, Ethan, you can chime in too if you want to. But really, I'm more talking to the people who are just really, really actively following along. Who do we got here? Brady Stephenson. What's going on? Is that a goodbye piece or is that a hello piece? Have you been a silent observer through most of this stream, or are you just showing up? You let me know, Brady. But Heatwave, Satch, anybody else that we have still on, you guys keep calling me goat. You guys keep saying that I'm knocking out of the park or whatever. What is causing you guys to tune into my next one? Like, what is it that I'm bringing to the table that that you guys are actually like enjoying? And I again just came in about 20 minutes ago to catch the ending. Great stuff. Thank you. I appreciate it. Man, what was I talking about 20 minutes ago? I'm not sure. But yeah, just out of curiosity, and no, like I said, not trying to, pep myself up or anything. I like to ask questions. I like to understand things. And in this case, this would be quality feedback for me. And I thrive on feedback. I really like to know what people are thinking. So if you want to share, that would be cool. If you don't, I either way, just know I really do appreciate that you guys do show up and hang out with me. It is really cool. I can see your passion. It's a different vibe from the other Balisong creators. It's great. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is that passion is there. That's for sure. I don't really know what more to say about that. That's really cool of you to say. Thank you, Heatwave. Sash, you ain't the flipping goat. No, I am not. But your positivity is amazing. you're humble, put others on, and always support. Yep, yep. Well, thank you, Satch. I appreciate that. Really do. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's my thing. Is like when I came into the hobby, like people were just cool to me, and there was no reason for it. There was no need for it. So the fact that that there is this group of people out here, that do this wacky thing, that calms the nerves and helps with anxiety and all of that. But the people that are tied to it, um, giving me the warm welcome that I received. And here's a hot take too, and I mean no offense to anybody who falls in this category, but one thing that I have noticed, not across the board, but one thing that I have noticed in general is that Balisong flippers in the hobby do tend to be on the younger side in comparison to myself. Again, that is not a general rule. There are, I can tell you from looking at my Google Analytics on my YouTube content, there are people in their 70s, who watch my videos, which is cool. There are people in their 50s and 40s and 30s and 20s and 10s that are doing this. But it feels to me like the vast majority of the community is on the mid 20 and younger side of that age range. Um, so the fact that I have all of these mid 20 and younger people tuning into this 40-year-old guy that just showed up and is talking about things as though he's been here the whole time. It's just super surreal again, and because of that, I had to ask, what brings you guys back, because I just can't wrap my head around it. You never see this stage before. Wait, let me see that. You never see the stage before flawless on YouTube. It's nice seeing someone learning and showing progression. It's very encouraging seeing your positivity, being something that is very new to flipping. Flipping is very encouraging. Yeah, I agree. You never see the stage before flawless on YouTube. Wait, hold on. Being someone. Oh, being someone that is very new to flipping. Got it. It's very encouraging seeing your positivity being some. Oh, okay. So you are saying that you are encouraged by the fact that me, being new, am still positive. Is that what I'm hearing? Just want to make sure I'm following. It's like everyone's cut makes them all flipping masters. Yeah, it's like everyone's cuts make them all flipping masters. Heck no. Yeah, I'm not afraid to show the drops. You know, I, I've said it before. I thrive on feedback. One of those pieces of feedback. So here's another thing about me. When I'm at work and I have like annual reviews or something like that, the absolute worst I will ever hear on a review is "You're doing great. Keep up the good work." I hate hearing that. Every time I hear somebody say "You're doing great. Keep up the good work," all that means to me is I have no feedback for you to take and improve yourself with. Um, so getting all of this feedback is super great for me, just simply because when I get it, it gives me something to I don't know, come back with, to learn from, to, what's the next thing. And you can't learn something new without dropping every now and then. Like I said, like I said in that other short, you're not going to land the trick all the time. Sometimes you're going to nick your finger, and sometimes you're going to need to take a Band-Aid break. That's, but everybody knows that. So why everybody is so scared to be seen failing at something? The thing is, like, you're not failing at anything. You're practicing something that you aren't perfect with yet. And no one should ever laugh at somebody for practicing something that they're not good. That's the whole purpose of practice, is I am actively not good. I want to improve. The only way you can do that is to suck and then progressively suck less. That's genius thoughts here, I know. But anyway, I'm missing stuff in the chat. Let's catch back up. Let's see. So yeah, I'm not afraid to show us a drop. Absolutely not. Satch says, I think often others in the community take flipping too seriously and try to act better than others. And I think you encapsulate the vibe that this is just a fun little hobby that we can all enjoy. Or at least some others. And it looks like Brady is saying he agrees, or she agrees. I'm sorry. They agree. And Heatwave also agrees. Sweet. So yeah, I mean, that's what I do. That's how I do it. I'm not afraid to drop, so long as it's not a live blade and it's not on my foot. But even then, in all honesty, if I drop a live blade on my foot, I'm only going to be mad about it for so long, and then I'm going to learn my lesson. So that's me. That's my MO. My MO is, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to explain myself to you guys, and there is no easy way to do it. So you guys are just gonna have to learn me bit by bit. But it sounds like you're willing to do that, and I really do appreciate it. So. And with that, we have hit 3 hours and 8 minutes. We have 6 people watching. You guys are absolutely amazing. I will continue to say it again and again and again. After these streams, I always go back. I always watch them again. I always find them entertaining, and I always decide I'm going to leave it out there for somebody else to watch. This one has been different because this one has been 3 hours long, and I don't think my talking points were all that great. It wasn't a really heavy topic, and I just kind of like winged it for the last hour and a half. But the funny thing is, I'm already pretty sure that there is no chance that I'm going to end up deleting this one. Simply because of you guys in the chat. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This isn't my show. This is your guys' show. I'm along for the ride. I'm just here spouting out whatever silliness pops into my head. But you guys in the chat, have been like beyond cool and authentic with me. And again, kind of going to something that I had said earlier about why it's so impactful, the reception that I got with the community. So much of the community is on the younger side of the like early 20s and earlier. I think that's the feel that I get. And I am in my 40s, grandfather of 5. So my stance on things is the fact that all of these young people are tuning into this old guy. It's just super it's weird. I mean, and not in a bad way. It's really cool. But it's weird. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Why? Yeah, quite literally. I mean, unless somebody else was streaming right now and you were watching them. But no, that's a good point. That is, and I kind of keep bringing that up too on my streams. And people people kind of make fun of me about it, saying, bro, it's a knife. Um, but to me, it isn't. It isn't the knife. It's the community, and that's what you guys are to me. Like right now, there are 6 people watching, so we are currently a community of 7, which is really cool. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just really cool. Um, anyways, uh, yeah, I think I've kind of run out of things. I think I have. Uh, but you guys are the best. The fact that you keep showing up, it means a whole lot to me. So you guys know. You'll understand more when we get into that whole like video that we were talking about. But um, seriously, unequivocally, cannot stress enough. Every single one of you who happens to be in the chat right now, um, yeah, you guys make my day. You guys make my weekend. Um, this is a really fun thing that I get to do, and you guys show up for it, and yeah, that truly means a lot to me because in a world where it's really easy to be looked past, um, it's really easy to feel unseen. It's really easy to feel invisible in a room full of people. And you guys are my witness. You guys are showing up. You guys are letting me know that I am not alone here. And I really appreciate it. It really is cool. So, with that, I am out. It has been fun hanging out, Heatwave. I really appreciate it. It's been a good stream. I hope you have a good night, dude. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate it. You guys, again, can't say it enough. I mean, you're the reason why I do this. When I look back and watch the streams, it's your guys' participation that actually makes the streams worth watching. So, thank you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for saying hi. See you guys in the next one. Love you. You guys can just bear